Every person longs to feel truly seen and appreciated, especially the women in our lives, but often, the compliments they most desire go unspoken, buried beneath surface praise. Today, we're diving deep into 3 powerful compliments that women secretly crave, yet most men never say. These aren't just words. They're keys that unlock connection, respect, and deeper love. If you want to transform your relationships and make the women around you feel valued on a whole new level, listen closely, because what you're about to learn will change how you express appreciation forever. You know, there's something powerful about a genuine compliment. It's not just a few words tossed out casually, it's a recognition, a deep acknowledgement of who someone really is beneath the surface. And for women, that kind of acknowledgement isn't always easy to come by. Most of the compliments they receive focus on what's visible. Their looks, their smile, or the clothes they wear. Those things are nice to hear, sure, but they only scratch the surface of what truly makes a woman feel valued. There's a whole world beneath that, a strength, a resilience, a courage that often goes unnoticed. Think about it for a moment. Life isn't easy for anyone, and the challenges women face today are many and complex. They juggle expectations, roles, emotions, and pressures that are often invisible to the casual observer. They carry burdens silently, push through hardships quietly, and navigate storms that others might never see. Yet, how often do we stop to really recognize that? How often do we pause and say, "I see your strength. I see how you keep going when it's hard. I admire the way you handle life's challenges with grace and courage." This kind of recognition, it's like a balm to the soul. It tells her that you see more than just the surface. You see her spirit, her tenacity, the battles she's fought and won, even if no one else has noticed. And that acknowledgement, that genuine recognition, is something she craves deep down. It's an unspoken need that longs to be fulfilled, but so many men miss it because they don't look past what's obvious. Imagine the impact when a woman hears you praise her inner strength, not just in a vague way, but in a real, specific way. When you say something like, "I admire how you stayed calm when things got overwhelming," or "I respect the way you handle challenges without giving up." Those words carry weight. They tell her that you see her not just as someone who looks good, but as someone who fights, who perseveres, who keeps moving forward even when the road is tough. And here's the truth, strength isn't just about big heroic moments, it's also in the small, everyday acts, the quiet patience, the hidden sacrifices, the resilience shown in moments of doubt. Women want to be seen for these things because they are the foundation of who they are. When you acknowledge those moments, you're telling her that she matters beyond the surface, that her inner world is just as important as her outward appearance. This kind of compliment also builds trust and connection. When a woman feels understood at this level, a door opens, a space where vulnerability and authenticity can grow. She feels safer to share her fears, her hopes, her true self, and that's what deep relationships are built on. Seeing and accepting each other completely. But why do so many men miss this? Why is it so common for men to stick to compliments about looks, or to say things that feel surface level? It often comes down to habit, discomfort, or not knowing how to express something more meaningful. Sometimes it's fear of saying the wrong thing or sounding insincere. Sometimes it's just not paying attention to what really matters beneath the surface. The good news is that this can change. It starts with paying attention, noticing the quiet strength in the woman beside you, the way she handles difficulties, the resilience she shows when no one is watching. It means slowing down and listening with intention, being present enough to see beyond the obvious, and when you find those moments, don't hesitate to speak them aloud. Don't hold back because you think it's too deep or too vulnerable. The truth is, these kinds of compliments are exactly what make a woman feel truly appreciated and loved. They're rare because they require you to see her fully, and that takes courage and awareness. So next time you want to compliment a woman, try this. Look past the surface, notice her strength, her perseverance, her courage, and when you say it, be sincere. Let your words reflect that you really see her, that you recognize the battles she's fought and the grace she carries through it all. This kind of genuine recognition doesn't just boost her confidence, it uplifts her spirit. It tells her that she's not alone, that her efforts matter, and that someone truly values the essence of who she is. And that kind of connection, that kind of affirmation, it's priceless. Remember, a genuine compliment isn't about flattery. It's about truth, and when you speak that truth from the heart, it becomes a powerful gift, one that can transform your relationship and deepen the bond in ways you never imagined. So take a moment, see her strength, speak it aloud, and watch how it changes everything. There's something incredibly powerful about being seen for your mind, your thoughts, your ideas, your unique way of looking at the world. Yet so often, women don't receive the kind of compliments that speak to their intelligence, creativity, or insight. Instead, what do they usually hear? Comments about their appearance, their style, or the roles they play in life. While those things are nice, they don't touch the core of what women secretly long to be recognized for. Because beneath the surface, women want their minds honored, respected, and valued just as much as any other part of them. Think about this for a second. Intelligence is not just about knowing facts or being book smart. It's about perspective, creativity, problem solving, emotional insight, and the way a person interprets the world. When a woman shares her ideas or offers her thoughts, she's opening a window into who she is. And when you acknowledge and appreciate that, you're telling her, "I see you, I respect your mind," that kind of validation is profound. It lets her know that she's more than just a face or a role. She's a thinker, a creator, a force. Why is this so rare? Why do so many men miss the opportunity to affirm a woman's intelligence? Part of it might be cultural or societal. Sometimes, men are conditioned to focus on physical attraction or traditional roles and forget that true connection happens at a deeper level. Or maybe it's simply discomfort. Some men might feel intimidated by a woman's intellect or unsure how to compliment it sincerely. But here's the truth. Complimenting a woman's mind doesn't diminish you. It elevates the relationship. It creates a space where real respect grows. Now imagine how it feels for a woman when a man says something like, "I really admire your insight on that," or "the way you think about this problem is inspiring." Those words, simple as they may seem, open a door. They show her that her ideas matter, that her perspective has value. This kind of affirmation nurtures confidence and encourages her to express herself more freely. It tells her that her voice is heard and appreciated, and that can be incredibly empowering. It's important to realize that this goes beyond just praising intelligence in the traditional sense. It's about valuing her unique way of thinking, her creativity, her intuition, her emotional intelligence. Maybe she sees solutions where others see problems, or she reads between the lines in a way few do. Maybe she has a passion for learning, or a gift for inspiring others. These qualities often go unnoticed because they're subtle, but they're no less powerful. When you acknowledge these gifts, you're not just giving a compliment, you're building a bridge. You're saying, "I value who you are at your core, not just what's on the surface." And that kind of recognition is something women deeply crave but rarely receive. It's what makes them feel truly known and deeply connected. This also changes the dynamic of how women see themselves in your presence. When you honor her mind, she feels safe to be authentic, to share her dreams and ideas without fear of judgment. It creates a relationship where conversation flows freely, where both of you can grow and learn together. That kind of intellectual connection is a foundation for lasting intimacy and mutual respect. So how do you start doing this? It begins with genuine curiosity. Listen closely when she speaks. Pay attention to the ideas she shares, the passions she pursues, and the thoughts she expresses. Notice the depth and nuances in her thinking. Then, respond with authenticity. Don't just nod along or give empty praise. Instead, say what you truly feel. Tell her what you find interesting, what makes you think, what inspires you. When you do this, you're not only complimenting her, you're engaging with her on a meaningful level. And it's not just about big conversations or intellectual debates. It's also in the everyday moments, the way she explains something new she's learned, the creative solution she found to a problem, or the thoughtful advice she gives. These moments are opportunities to affirm her mind and show her you respect her intellect. Remember, the most powerful compliments come from a place of sincerity. If you want to truly touch her heart, your words need to be honest and heartfelt. Don't give compliments you don't mean, and don't shy away from acknowledging her brilliance just because it feels unfamiliar or uncomfortable. The more you practice, the more natural it becomes, and the deeper your connection will grow. When you begin to celebrate her mind, you're doing more than just giving compliments. You're nurturing a space where her whole self can flourish. You're showing her that you value the fullness of who she is, that her thoughts and ideas are important to you. And that kind of acceptance fosters a bond that goes far beyond surface-level attraction. Women want to be seen, heard, and appreciated in every dimension, not just physically but intellectually and emotionally as well. When you acknowledge the depth of her mind, you're giving her a rare gift. You're saying, "I see the brilliance inside you, and it amazes me." That affirmation can light a spark inside her, one that fuels confidence, joy, and a sense of being truly valued. So the next time you find yourself admiring a woman in your life, don't stop at how she looks or what she does. Look deeper, notice the way her mind works, recognize her unique intelligence, her creative spark, and the insights she brings to the table. And then tell her what you see, what you respect, and what inspires you, because when you do, you're not just giving a compliment, you're building a foundation of respect, trust, and deep connection. And that changes everything. There's a longing inside every woman to be valued for who she truly is, not for the roles she plays, not for the way she looks, but for her authentic self. Beyond the surface, beyond the expectations of society, and even beyond the expectations we sometimes put on ourselves, there lies a core, a unique spirit, personality, set of values, and quirks that make her who she is. And yet, so often, this authentic self goes unnoticed or unappreciated. Think about how easy it is to compliment what's visible. A smile, an outfit, a hairstyle, those things are simple to see and simple to say, but when was the last time you told a woman you love the way she laughs when she's truly joyful? Or how her kindness touches people in ways she might not even realize, or how her honesty, even when it's difficult, is something you deeply respect? Those are the kinds of compliments that make a difference because they speak to her essence, the very heart of who she is. This kind of recognition is incredibly powerful because it tells her that she is seen, not just as a collection of attributes or roles but as a complete, unique individual. When you affirm her authentic self, you give her permission to be real, to drop the masks and pretenses, and to be vulnerable. And vulnerability is where true connection begins. It's where trust grows, where love deepens, and where two people can truly understand and appreciate one another. Too often, women feel pressure to fit into certain molds, to be the perfect partner, the ideal mother, the flawless professional, or the picture of grace and beauty. These expectations can feel heavy, like a costume they must wear every day. When a man acknowledges her authentic self, with all her imperfections, passions, and quirks, it's a breath of fresh air. It's a reminder that she is loved for who she is, not for who she's supposed to be. This kind of compliment doesn't have to be grand or complicated. Sometimes it's as simple as noticing something unique about her personality and expressing your appreciation for it. Maybe she's got a dry sense of humor that always makes you smile, or a way of seeing the good in people that inspires you. Maybe she's fiercely independent, or she's incredibly nurturing. Whatever it is, these traits form the tapestry of her authentic self, and they deserve to be noticed and celebrated. When you speak to a woman's authentic self, you're telling her that her individuality matters, that she doesn't need to conform to someone else's idea of perfection to be worthy of love and respect. And that affirmation can change everything. It frees her to be herself without fear, knowing that she is accepted fully. This acceptance also invites her to show up more fully in the relationship. When a woman feels safe to be authentic, she's more open, more engaged, and more loving. She doesn't have to hide her true feelings or pretend to be someone she's not, and that honesty creates a foundation for a deeper, more meaningful connection. But why is it so rare to hear these kinds of compliments? Part of it is because society has conditioned many men to focus on external qualities or achievements. Compliments about authenticity require attentiveness and vulnerability, qualities that don't always come naturally or comfortably. It takes effort to really see beyond the surface and appreciate the person's heart and soul. That's why it's so important to cultivate awareness, to pay attention not just to what a woman does or how she looks, but to who she is when no one else is watching. Notice the things that make her unique, the small habits, the passions, the values she lives by, then speak those observations aloud with honesty and warmth. For example, you might say, "I love how passionate you get about the things you care about," or "Your kindness has a way of making people feel safe and valued," or "The way you stand up for what you believe in shows incredible courage." These words carry weight because they affirm something deeply personal and real. And here's the truth: when you affirm a woman's authentic self, you're not just giving a compliment, you're inviting her to be free. You're saying, you don't have to pretend with me, you don't have to fit a mold, I love you just as you are. That's a powerful message. It creates space for healing, growth, and true intimacy. Women don't want to be molded or changed. They want to be known and accepted, and that starts with the simple, honest act of acknowledging who they really are. It's a reminder that love isn't about perfection or performance, it's about presence and acceptance. When you master this kind of compliment, you become a safe harbor, a place where a woman can anchor herself without fear of judgment. You become someone who sees the fullness of her being and cherishes it. That's rare and precious, and it's something that most men never say, but women secretly crave. So, as you move forward, remember this: look deeper than the surface, see her authentic self, notice the quirks, the values, the passions, the real person beneath the roles and appearances. Then speak from your heart, tell her what you see, what you appreciate, and what moves you, because when you do, you're not just giving a compliment, you're giving her the freedom to be fully herself. When we talk about relationships and connection, one of the biggest barriers that keeps people apart is misunderstanding. Many men don't realize how easy it is to miss the kind of compliments women truly need, the ones that go beyond surface words and actually touch their hearts. It's not that men don't want to express appreciation, it's often that they don't know what to say or how to say it in a way that really matters. This gap, this missed opportunity, affects relationships deeply. You see, most men fall into a pattern. They give compliments that are safe and familiar, praise about looks, success, or things that are easy to point out. But here's the thing, while those compliments might feel good in the moment, they don't build the kind of connection women secretly crave. They don't acknowledge the complexity, the depth, the very real emotional needs that lie beneath the surface, and when those needs go unmet, distance grows, even if everything seems fine on the outside. Women want to be seen and appreciated for who they are at the core, not just as someone to admire from a distance, but as a partner in life who is understood and valued for her true self. When men miss this, it creates a subtle disconnect. The relationship can feel shallow or superficial. The woman may wonder if she's truly known or loved beyond appearances. Why does this happen? Why do men often miss these crucial compliments? It comes down to a few key reasons. First, many men aren't taught how to express emotional depth. They grow up with the idea that compliments should be simple and straightforward, or that showing emotion might be seen as weak. So they stick to what feels safe, surface-level praise that doesn't require vulnerability. Second, there's often a lack of awareness. Men might not realize what a woman truly needs to hear to feel valued. They might not know how to recognize the moments when a heartfelt compliment would mean the most. It requires paying attention, not just hearing words but listening to the emotions behind them. It means observing not just what a woman says, but how she acts, what she struggles with, and what she cherishes. Third, fear plays a role. Complimenting beyond the surface means opening yourself up to vulnerability. It means risking saying the wrong thing or being misunderstood. Many men avoid this risk, even though the reward, deepened connection and trust, is worth it. The impact of missing these compliments isn't always obvious. It's not like a relationship immediately falls apart. Instead, it's a slow erosion of closeness. The woman may feel unseen or underappreciated, even if she never voices it. She may start to doubt whether she's truly loved for who she is, or whether she's only valued for what she looks like or what she does. This doubt can quietly build walls and distance, even in the best relationships, but the good news is this: it's never too late to change. Awareness is the first step. Understanding that these missed compliments matter is powerful. When a man begins to see what a woman really craves, he can start to shift how he communicates. He can move beyond surface-level praise and into deeper, more meaningful expressions of appreciation. Imagine the transformation that happens when a man learns to notice the little things, the effort she puts into her passions, the patience she shows when life gets complicated, the courage it takes for her to be herself. Imagine the difference when he says, "I see how hard you work behind the scenes," or "I'm amazed by your patience when things get tough," or "Your authenticity is something I truly admire." These aren't just words, they're bridges that bring two hearts closer. This shift requires practice and patience. It means being present, paying attention, and learning to speak from the heart. It means being willing to take emotional risks, to say things that might feel unfamiliar but are deeply needed. It means listening not just to respond, but to understand. When men do this, relationships grow stronger, women feel truly loved and valued. The emotional bond deepens, creating a foundation of trust and respect that withstands challenges. The connection moves from something surface level to something profound. So how do you start? Begin with awareness. Notice what she does, what she struggles with, what lights her up. Listen for the unspoken needs, the quiet desires, then find ways to express your appreciation in ways that resonate with her heart. It might be a simple sentence spoken at the right moment, or a thoughtful gesture that shows you see her for who she truly is. Remember, the most powerful compliments come from sincerity. They're not rehearsed lines or empty flattery. They're honest acknowledgments of the woman's unique value. When you speak from this place, you don't just compliment, you connect, and that connection is everything. It's the difference between a relationship that just exists and one that truly thrives. It's the difference between love that fades and love that lasts. So don't miss the chance to speak these compliments. Don't fall into the trap of surface-level praise that leaves her wondering if she's truly seen. Step up. See her, hear her, appreciate her, because when you do, you create a bond that changes everything. When we talk about why most men miss these deeply meaningful compliments, it's important to understand the root causes, not to blame, but to open a path toward real change. Because missing these moments isn't just about what's said or not said, it's about mindset, awareness, and the willingness to grow. Too often, men fall into patterns that keep them from expressing the kind of appreciation women secretly crave, and that impacts not only their relationships but the way they experience love itself. One of the main reasons these compliments go unspoken is because many men have been conditioned to focus on surface-level qualities. From a young age, compliments often revolve around achievements, appearance, or performance. It's easy to say, "You look nice," or "You did a great job," because those are visible, tangible things. But to acknowledge a woman's inner strength, her unique intelligence, or her authentic self, that requires seeing beyond the obvious. It demands a deeper level of attention and understanding. This deeper attention is something many men aren't taught. Emotional literacy, the ability to recognize and express feelings and to tune into the emotional needs of others, is not something that comes naturally for everyone. Society often tells men to be tough, to hold their feelings in, or to keep things simple. So, when it comes time to compliment, many fall back on what feels safe and easy rather than what is heartfelt and meaningful. Another barrier is vulnerability. Complimenting a woman on her inner qualities requires opening yourself up emotionally. It means stepping out of your comfort zone and risking rejection or misunderstanding. There's a fear that if you say something too deep or personal, it might be misinterpreted or might not be welcomed. So instead, many men choose silence or stick with generic praise, but that silence creates distance. It leaves women feeling unseen in ways that words could have healed. Additionally, the fast pace of life often robs us of presence. Genuine compliments require mindfulness, a moment of awareness to observe, to feel, and then to express. But in a world of distractions and rushing from one thing to another, it's easy to overlook those moments. We might notice her strength or her intelligence, but we don't pause long enough to say it, and that missed opportunity can accumulate into a sense of being unappreciated. This is why it's so important to shift perspective. Compliments are not just superficial pleasantries, they're emotional lifelines. They communicate to the other person that they are seen, valued, and loved for their whole self. When men realize this, the way they approach relationships changes profoundly. Another common mistake is misunderstanding what women really need to hear. Sometimes, men think that compliments should be about grand gestures or dramatic declarations. But the truth is, women often crave the quiet, sincere acknowledgments, the simple but specific words that show you've noticed her heart and soul. It's not about saying something perfect, it's about being authentic. Also, some men might avoid these compliments because they fear it will create expectations or pressure. They worry that once they start noticing and expressing these deeper things, it will open a floodgate of emotions they don't know how to handle. But the irony is, avoiding these expressions creates more distance and misunderstanding in the long run. When you open the door to genuine appreciation, it invites openness and trust, which actually makes navigating emotions easier. What happens when these compliments are missing? The woman may begin to feel isolated in her experience. She might feel like she's not truly known or loved for who she is. Over time, this creates a quiet frustration or sadness. Even if she never says it aloud, that feeling affects the quality of the relationship. The emotional intimacy begins to erode, replaced by a subtle sense of loneliness. But here's the hopeful part. None of this is fixed by grand gestures or drastic changes overnight. It begins with small shifts, moments of awareness, little acts of courage, a willingness to speak from the heart even if it feels awkward. It's about choosing to see her fully and to express that seeing through your words. When a man begins to make this shift, the impact is powerful. It transforms not only how he relates to the woman in his life, but how he experiences connection and love itself. He moves from surface-level interactions to profound intimacy. He learns that vulnerability is strength, that attention is a gift, and that sincere appreciation is a language of love that speaks directly to the soul. This transformation also invites growth on both sides. When a woman feels truly seen and valued, she responds with openness and trust. The relationship becomes a space where both people can be their authentic selves without fear. Challenges are faced together, joy is multiplied, and love deepens in ways that words can hardly capture. So how do you begin this transformation? Start by examining your habits. Notice when you tend to give compliments. Are they mostly about appearance or achievements? What about the inner qualities that matter so much? Begin to practice awareness. Take a moment to observe her strengths, her insights, her authenticity. Reflect on what moves you about who she is beneath the surface. Then, find the courage to speak those truths. It might feel unfamiliar at first, but the more you do it, the more natural it becomes. Remember, it's not about being perfect, it's about being real. Authenticity trumps eloquence every time, and when you do this, you don't just improve your relationship, you enrich your own experience of love. You learn to love more deeply, more fully, with greater presence and intention. You become a man who sees, hears, and honors the woman in a way few ever do. Missed compliments aren't a failure, they are an opportunity to grow, to change, and to build a connection that lasts. When you embrace that, you open the door to a love that is true and lasting. Knowing the kind of compliments women secretly crave is one thing. But putting that knowledge into practice, making those words come alive naturally in your daily life, that's where the real transformation happens. It's one thing to understand that women want to be valued for their strength, their intelligence, and their authentic self. It's another thing entirely to weave those recognitions into everyday moments so they become a genuine part of how you connect. The beauty of this is that it doesn't require grand gestures or perfectly crafted speeches. It's not about memorizing lines or trying to be someone you're not. It's about presence, awareness, and authenticity, being tuned into her world, noticing what she brings to the relationship, and expressing your appreciation in a way that feels sincere and heartfelt. One of the simplest ways to begin is by paying attention. Notice the little things she does that reveal her strength, her thoughtfulness, her unique character. Maybe she handled a tough situation at work with grace, or maybe she offered kindness to someone struggling. These moments can pass by unnoticed if you're distracted or rushing, but when you make the choice to really see her in those moments, you open the door to meaningful compliments that come straight from the heart. And when you do see those moments, don't hesitate to speak up, say it out loud. For example, you might say, "I noticed how calm you stayed during that stressful meeting. That really impressed me," or "The way you listen to your friend's problems with such patience shows a lot about who you are." These specific observations tell her you're truly paying attention, not just to what she does, but to who she is. It's also important to be spontaneous. The best compliments often come in unplanned moments. They're not forced or rehearsed, they're honest reactions to something you genuinely admire. When you catch yourself thinking, "Wow, she's really strong," or "her perspective is so insightful," take that moment to say it. Don't wait for the perfect time, because often, the perfect time is right now. Another key to making these compliments natural is to connect them to your feelings. Instead of simply stating a fact, share how what you see affects you. For example, "When I see how you face challenges, it makes me respect you even more," or "Your creativity always inspires me to think differently." This personal connection makes your words more impactful because it shows that her qualities don't just exist, they move you deeply. Remember, women want to be appreciated for their whole selves, not just isolated traits, so when you compliment her, think broadly. Recognize her resilience, yes, but also her kindness. Appreciate her intelligence, but also her humor. Notice her authenticity, and also the little quirks that make her unique. The more you show that you see her complexity, the more she'll feel truly known. It's also crucial to be consistent. One heartfelt compliment can brighten a day, but regular affirmations build a foundation of trust and emotional safety. Make it a habit to look for opportunities to appreciate her inner qualities. Over time, this creates a relationship where both of you feel valued and understood. Don't be discouraged if it feels awkward at first. Expressing deep appreciation isn't always easy, especially if you're not used to it. But like any skill, it improves with practice. Start small, be sincere, and over time it will become a natural part of your connection. Another powerful way to express these compliments is through actions, not just words. Sometimes what you do speaks louder than what you say. Supporting her dreams, standing by her during challenges, or simply being present when she needs you, all of these are ways to show that you value her true self. When your actions and words align, the message is undeniable. It's also helpful to remember that every woman is unique. What touches one woman's heart might be different for another, so pay attention to how she responds. Notice what makes her light up, what makes her smile, or what moments bring her closer to you. Tailoring your compliments to her personality and needs shows that you're truly invested in understanding and loving her. And don't overlook the power of nonverbal communication. A look of admiration, a gentle touch, or simply being fully present when she speaks can communicate appreciation just as powerfully as words. These small gestures reinforce the compliments you give and deepen the emotional connection. As you practice these things, you'll find that your relationship begins to change. Walls come down, misunderstandings clear up, and intimacy deepens. Compliments become a bridge to greater trust and love, not just empty words but heartfelt connections. Ultimately, the goal is to make these meaningful compliments a natural, effortless part of your daily life, to cultivate a relationship where appreciation flows freely and where she feels truly seen, heard, and loved for all that she is. So start today, be present, notice her strength, her mind, her authentic self, speak from the heart. Let your words and actions reflect the deep respect and admiration you feel. Because when you do, you don't just change her world, you change yours. Now that you know the compliments women secretly crave, the ones most men never say, it's time to step up. Don't let this knowledge stay inside you. Go out today and speak these truths with courage and sincerity. Watch how your relationships transform when you truly see her strength, honor her mind, and cherish her authentic self. The power to deepen connection, build trust, and create lasting love is in your hands, so start now. Speak with intention, love with honesty, because the woman in your life deserves nothing less than the real you. Make that difference today.